Right now, you're about to watch a private recording where I break down step by step how you can get your first AI agency client in 30 days and how hundreds of our clients are doing the exact same thing. So inside, I'll show you exactly how to find the best AI opportunity in today's market, how to build an offer businesses actually want to pay for, and how to create a consistent lead generation system that brings in clients on demand. So if you want to start an AI agency, land your first client, and avoid wasting months guessing what works, then I definitely recommend watching this recording right here. And we've also included a valuable bonus resource that we normally only share to our one-to-one clients. So make sure to stay until the end to know how you can get the whole resource for free. With that being said, let's dive in. Welcome to the first AIC event we've ever done. I'm very, very excited for this. Today's topic, by the title of the workshop, is going to be how to land your first AI automation client in 30 days, right? Even if you work 9 to 5 and are not technical. So quick question before we start. There are two different types of people. There's a first person who maybe already has the first client and they're looking to kind of get more. And there's the other person who wants to get their first client and doesn't have one. So in the chat, are you number one or number two? Do you already have your first client or are you looking to get your first client? Two. One, two. Perfect. Martin says one or two. How is that possible, man? Sort of one. Okay. I do have clients, but not strictly related to automation. 2, but free. Okay. Rather one. Perfect. Okay. So most of you are 2. You're looking to get your first client, which is awesome. And I mean like AI agency client. All right, let's do it. So there's one key thing you must know to get your first client with your AI agency in 30 days. And no, I'm not going to talk about why AI is the next big thing. And I'm not even going to talk about how you can learn new AI tools to get better automations. And I'm not even going to give you 100 random strategies and leave you more confused than you started. Because let's be honest, if you're here on this call right now, you probably already know those things. Okay. Now, you're here to learn something that can actually and genuinely get you clients and start your agency in 2026. Now, that's exactly what we're going to do. So if you're on this call right now, you're most likely struggling with, we can say 3 different areas, right? The first thing is watching dozens of YouTube videos on AI automation, even mine, maybe, following 5 different gurus who all say different things. And by the way, just because they say different things, it doesn't mean one is necessarily more right than the other, right? Because in business, there's different ways of doing things. And lastly, you've consumed more content than you can even remember. Does this resonate with you? Looking this, hearing this right now, does this resonate with you? Are you saying, yes, that's me? I have watched content. I have followed all these guys. I don't know what I'm doing. Perfect. Because I was there too. So everyone's saying yes in the chat. That's awesome. That's exactly what we're going to solve today. Okay. So nonetheless, you have watched all these videos and you are still stuck. Okay. Now, the problem is not that you need more information, because right now we have information overload. We have way more information than we can handle, right? And so that's the most important thing here, is that AI is giving us to a point where we have too much information and it gets us overwhelmed because there's so much to know. And there's so much that we can know. And that's why we have to focus on different things. Now, I can guarantee that all of you guys on this call, maybe you might not be the most technical person. Maybe you might not be the best entrepreneur. And that's fine, because we're here today for that reason. But you have the information that you need, full stop, right? Now, you watch a few YouTube videos. Maybe you tried following a few tutorials from the best of the best, and then maybe even built your first automation, but you're still wondering, how do I make money with this, right? Because it's relatively new. There's not many people who've actually done the thing itself. There's a lot of people talking about it, but not many that have actually done the thing. And so first of all, it's like, who do we actually listen to? But second of all, what am I supposed to do? Like, how do I actually do this? I don't blame you, because I was there too. I was in the exact same place when I started. I was learning 6 different tools and using 5 different ways of getting clients. Now, you guys might see me now and say, okay, you're very far ahead. But at the start, I was in the exact same place. Like, this is the workshop that I wished I had when I got started, right? At the start, I was learning voice flow. I was learning Vapi. I was learning Make.com, Zapier, fucking Claude Code, everything and anything there was. And I was also using 5 different channels to get clients, right? And you might think that's good because I was working 12 to 13 hour days, but 5 months later, I had $0. I had nothing to show for it, like nothing, right? And it was pissing me off because I thought I was actually getting things done when I wasn't. I wasn't getting anywhere. Now, everything changed for me when I implemented this one framework that I'll walk you through, guys, today. That helped me 14 months later, scaled my agency to 6 figures, my AI agency, implemented AI solutions to over 50 businesses, consulting SMBs, which are small to medium-sized businesses, anywhere from like making 10K a month to 100K a month, all the way to enterprise clients, making hundreds of millions with their business, right? And helping over 200 people land their first client and thousands more. Obviously, watch my content in my community that get benefit from that as well. I'm not saying this to brag, but I'm saying this because I was in your place. I know how it's like. I've been there. I've done that. I've gone through the whole hurdle that you're going to go through and all the mistakes and so on. That's exactly what I want to show you today is saving you that time of like not having to kind of go through it yourself. So by the end of this, you'll understand exactly why you've been stuck, and it will not be what you think, right? That's be a promise. It's not what you think. But obviously, the strategies didn't just work for me, right? They worked with hundreds of our clients starting their agencies, people that I work with one-to-one, but also others in my community. You can go to the wins channel. You can see a lot of wins, getting their first client, starting their agencies, and doing all that awesome stuff that we love. Now, if you stay until the end of the workshop today, you can ask me any specific question you want. There'll be like a Q&A box somewhere below. You can ask me any questions, ideally like business related, right? You can also ask me tech questions, but I'm not gonna share my screen and go through 9 to 10 automation or Claude Code. So you have all the questions that you want, you can ask me at the end. We're gonna have a good amount of time. And if you stick until the very, very end, I'll give you my complete custom AI audit resource. Okay, so this resource tells you exactly how to find automation opportunities in any business, the exact framework that we use to calculate ROI, which is return on the investment for any project, and the simple process to turn conversations into sales. And this is something that we only give to our one-to-one clients. So make sure to stick around to the very, very end because I'll give you guys a resource for completely free for being here. Okay. Now, let's do it. Are we good to go? Are we excited? Yes. Yes. Yes, 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 yes. Let's go. Awesome. Let's do it. Let's do it. Awesome. So most people who can't land the first client are making the same mistake. And it most times, or pretty much like 99.99% of times, has nothing to do with how good you are at building systems or automations or with Claude Code or N10 or whatever it is, right? The number one reason why people don't succeed or don't get the first client is because they spend 6 months learning and never actually start selling. Right? In the chat, tell me, put yes if you actually resonate with this. Have you spent, maybe not 6 months, but have you spent time learning, but not actually selling, not actually going out there and talking to people, putting yourself out there? And I can see a lot of yeses because this is probably the biggest thing. This is big. Susan said it feels like years. Yes, ever learning, no clients, especially right now. There's so much info, there's so many videos. It's crazy. Yes, there we go. So when I was trying everything, which is voice agents, chatbots, CRM automations, content, these are what we call different AI opportunities. Okay, so if you see me or if you hear me saying from now on AI opportunities or AI niche, I mean the different pillars of the AI space. So the voice agents, chatbots, CRM automations, content, consulting, vibe coding. There's so many different things, right? And I was doing everything at once, literally everything. Anything that you can think of, I was doing it. I was learning it, right? And I couldn't answer the simplest question when a client asked me, which is, Michele, what is it that you do? Like tactically, what is it that you do? Who do you help? How do you help them? I couldn't answer. So my point here is that you have to pick one and go deep on it first. Like anything else apart from this, like if you don't do this, this is the number one most important thing. Just pick one and go at it. That's it. Like that. This is fundamentally like when someone says I can't get clients, usually it's an upstream problem, which means it's a problem of them not being in like enough of a focus point when they start. Okay, so if you're starting out, you have to pick one opportunity in the AI space. You have to. If you can do, obviously you can succeed doing 6 at a time, but not really, right? Like how many people do you know that I succeeded doing 6 different things at 6 different, solving like 60 different problems? Never. Everyone has one problem for one client and go at it. Now, the reality is with what I'm saying now, like the reason why focus is the number one most important thing, especially now, is because if you're everything to everyone, you're nothing to no one. Okay, so if you're everything to everyone, you're nothing to no one. And fundamentally, if you choose everything at once, You cannot answer the simplest questions, which, by the way, what is it that you do? But most importantly, like, you can build proof. Proof is saying, okay, I helped this client get XYZ outcome. And proof is something that we use to get more clients, right? Because if I helped marketing agencies to scale, then I can go to another agency and say, hey, I just helped John, who was making maybe 50K a month, and I got him up to 100K a month. And by showing proof, they trust me more, right? That's the first thing. The second thing is that you can't repeat what worked. To be able to scale an agency and actually have something that is not like another job, you need to have something that's repeatable, especially because in the long run, you don't want to be building automations. You don't want to be doing everything and anything in the agency. You want something that you can repeat, bring someone in, and then obviously they can go through it. But that's more later on, right? But essentially, if you do everything at once, everything becomes new. Every single client is like a new project, a new problem, a new person, and it's just all over the place, right? And with that said, you can't scale. I know this like exact workshop is about getting your first client, but like also think ahead. Like think ahead of like if like the actions that you take now will eventually lead you to the outcome that you get later. Okay. So the month I stopped offering everything and committed to one thing, I booked my first 3 clients in 30 days. That's literally what happened. And to show you proof, I was literally booking 0 calls at the start of the first 3 weeks. This is September 2024. And right below, you can see that I started booking calls right away just by having that focus point on that specific AI opportunity. I chose one, I doubled down and went all in. And month after that, 3 to 6 calls a day consistently on my calendar. And the month after that as well, and the month of, for 6 months, 7 months, 8 months straight, I was booking 3 to 6 calls a day consistently. Some days were 1, some days were 7. On average, it was 3 to 6, right? 3 to 6 calls a day from business owners looking to work with me. This is awesome. Of course, I was very overwhelmed. I didn't know what a sales call was, right? Like, it was all over the place. So that's kind of what happened. But just to show you that just focusing on one thing, it's like magic, like literally. I know it sounds stupid, but like it was like magic for me. Like focusing on one thing, it was crazy how I went from literally booking 0 calls to booking 3 to 6 calls a day within a matter of weeks, right? Obviously, was I prepared for all these sales calls? No, right? Because I was prepared for like to have no calls, and then from one day to another, from 1 week to another, I was completely transitioned. Phil asked, which one did you choose at first? So I was focusing on onboarding automations, so onboarding specifically. Someone asked, how did you get these calls booked with you? So I'll walk you through that in the third thing. So number 2 problem, okay? Even after picking a niche, an AI opportunity, most people don't have an ROI offer. They don't have an offer that actually provides value to a specific person. They just don't, right? And it comes down to 3 different mistakes. And when you think of offer, there's what an offer actually is and what you think it is, usually is like 2 different things, right? And I'll walk you through what that looks like as well. The first problem is that you're selling AI automations instead of clear business outcomes. Businesses don't care about AI. They don't care, right? They care about the outcome that AI can provide for them. And even though this sounds maybe a bit like obvious, it's one of the biggest things when it comes to talking to business owners. Because if on this call today, I'm talking about the craziest strategy of this and that, it will just overwhelm you and you will not know what to do. And then you go home and you're pretty much more stuck than you were before. Same thing with business owners specifically. And so when you're talking to business owners, you don't sell AI automations, right? What you're doing is you're not being clear about the problem that it solves itself, which means that if you can't tell them what problem it solves for them, how are they going to understand anything? Like the whole point of this is that business owners do not know how to implement AI. They don't know how to get started. That's why consultants are there to provide that consultancy, that coaching, you could say, to these businesses on how to implement AI. And that's why focusing on the problem itself is number 1 when it comes to building an offer and talking to clients. And the third thing, when it comes to, you could say like making money, is you undervalue the result because the tech feels simple to you. I want to tell you a story. Pretty embarrassing, but I feel like it's good for this specific thing. So I was on a call with a business owner, and it's funny now, but it wasn't funny then. And he wanted an onboarding automation. Okay, onboarding. And so he was telling me about he wanted the onboarding. He talked to me through the process, all the steps in between. I was like, yes, this is good. Let's do it. And then I told him, cool, it's going to be only like 3-4 hours it's going to take me to build the thing. And he's like, 3-4 hours? Okay. What's your hourly rate? And I said, $30 an hour, right? And in the end, I got paid $100 for that specific thing. Come to find out, 6 months later, that onboarding system generated them over, I believe, $7,000 for their business, not every month, just in total. So they paid me $100 for something that generated $7,000. And it was all because I underpriced or undervalued myself because the tech felt simple to me. And I was focusing on what it is that I'm building for them, not so much the outcome that they think that I'm building for them provides to them. Okay, that's the most important thing. Now, by the way, I see you guys putting questions in I believe Q&A. I'm not reading the Q&A until the end. You can just put it in the webinar chat. I can see what you guys have. Yeah. So I was selling AI automation. What I should have sold was the outcome that the AI automation provided to the business owner. And this shift right here is the difference between someone actually being able to close clients and someone not being able to do anything, to hop on a call and then talk features, and then they tell you, I need to think about it, or I need to talk to my partner, or I need to do X, Y, Z, right? All these objections because they don't actually have to think about it. They just don't know what you just said. They have no clue what it is that your thing actually does. So the clients who paid me the most never bought AI. They bought a specific problem that the AI solved for them. Now, in terms of offers, so a bad offer versus a good offer. A bad offer looks like this. We do custom AI solutions or AI automations for businesses. And a good offer looks like this. So we build a speed to lead voice system that calls and qualifies your ad leads in under 5 minutes and books them into your calendar without hiring extra staff or changing your ad setup. Okay, so in the chat right now, can you tell me why offer 2 is better? Like, what specific thing do you notice about offer 2 that offer 1 does not have? Let's see what you say. Okay. Someone says it's longer. It's definitely not because it's longer. Someone said a really good thing. So only one person pointed this out. Only one person pointed this out, which is really good. So first thing, outcome. Like, this tells them the outcome of the system the outcome that the system that you're building for them brings to the business, right? The second thing, am I even saying AI into this? There's no AI in the offer. Literally zero AI, zero, right? All to say that the offer itself, the less AI is incorporated in the offer, the more simple and more like the business will understand what it is that you're actually doing. Because when you're saying I build AI automations or I build AI systems, you're leaving it up to interpretation for them to know what that means. We never leave the business owner to interpret what you're talking about. You want to be very specific so they understand. Some business owners will understand, some don't, right? And so you, like Pragasan said, must bring solutions to pain areas, must bring the solutions to the problems that they are having. Most important thing. Now, some other offers, just so you understand, like from different angles, we build an AI screening system that automatically contacts, qualifies, and shortlists inbound applicants within 5 minutes of them applying. So your recruiters only speak to candidates who are already pre-qualified without adding account or slowing down your current process. Example number 2, real estate agents. We build a follow-up automation that contacts every new inquiry within 60 seconds, qualifies their budget and timeline, and books a viewing directly onto your calendar. So you stop losing warm leads to agents who respond faster. Okay, so those two are different angles of offers that you could have, but the most important thing is understanding the foundation of the offer, the foundation of how the offer actually works. Like, what do you need to have in the offer? Solve a pain point for a specific person in a specific kind of way without saying AI, okay? Now, number 3 is that most people, when they figure out the offer, they stop there. When I say stop there, I mean that they don't actually get people to know about their offer, because the offer itself is just something you have on paper. But it's getting clients that, like, fundamentally is probably the most important thing when it comes to building an agency or doing what we're doing today. And getting people to know about your stuff is typically through doing outreach, reaching out to people that you don't know or they don't know you. Now, bear in mind, when we're saying get your first client, I don't mean get your first free client. I'm saying get your first paid client, because when it comes to getting your first free client, you can talk to people that you already know, right? And work for free. And I think that's amazing when you get started. But now we're talking about how to get those paid clients over the line. Now, the number one reason why people don't succeed with outreach is because their messaging is not targeted, it's not personalized, and it's not clear enough for the other person to understand. If you give, the more vague the outreach is, the less chances you have of the person saying, oh, he's talking to me, right? That's why we niche down. Because when I was, for example, for our agency, at one point, we were targeting marketing agencies. This is how specific it was. We were targeting marketing agencies that were making above 30 to 40K a month, who couldn't take on more clients and who had to hire more people to subsidize the amount of clients that they were having. Okay. And so my outreach, when I spoke to them, when I talked to them, their reaction was, this is for me. Like, you're talking to me because I have this problem and it feels like you're talking to me directly. Right. And so that was much better rather than me at the start saying, hey, I build AI automations for any kind of business that's out there. Right. That's simply not the play, because you will not, like, businesses will not understand what that actually means. The second reason why people don't succeed with outreach is because it's not that they don't try, is that they try everything for a week each and they quit before anything has a chance to work. Now, this diagram is is something that's really funny to me for other reasons, but it's pretty much like the diagram that I would show you whenever I hear someone saying something didn't work, right? Most times, like, you see that guy on the bottom, he's about to get to the diamonds, and then Maxwell says, one more spin, one more thing. And he's going to get to the actual, like, diamond rush, but he moves back. He says, hey, it's not working. Let me go back. Right. And so a lot of people, when they start, a lot of you guys, when you start outreach, if you have started outreach, you quit way too early. Right. And it's a mixture of, like, consistency, but also strategy. You need to know who you're targeting, what, like, be personalized, actually having a clear problem that you solve, and have the consistency that backs up with it. Early on, what I did, I tell you this because I had the exact same thing early on, was I tried cold email for a week. The first thing I ever did, the first form of outreach, was cold email, right? And it's not that cold email didn't work, is that I didn't make cold email work. You see that? It's external to internal. Cold email didn't work. I didn't make cold email work because I did it for a week and then I got nothing. I switched to LinkedIn DMs. I got nothing. I tried cold calling for 3 days. Got nothing. I jumped back to email. Got nothing. And then I heard someone saying Instagram outreach was the next big thing. And so I tried that too. And guess what? I got nothing, right? And so all of this is because of the fact that I didn't give enough time and I was not consistent with my output, or with my input, not output, input. So it's only until you start to focus on one platform that you will start to see wins stack up. Because fundamentally, they all work. Cold calling works. Cold email works. LinkedIn DMs work, right? And when it comes to the outreach itself, they all work because fundamentally, if people are doing it, there's some level of foundation that it has to work. Like, it does work, right? Because they're all a form of outreach. Now, early on, and this is where you asked me, hey, do I create content? What does that look like, right? As beginners, you shouldn't create content because content is a form of inbound. You're getting people to you. I think content is something that's long-term. Cold outreach, so reaching out to people that don't know you, that's something you do early on, but also, like, later on, right? And then content will be something that you will stack up over time and you have people coming to us or coming to me. All right. And so cold calling works, cold email works, LinkedIn DMs work, but it's about the strategy behind it. So how you're actually doing the thing, but also having the consistent action behind the thing to make sure that it does work long-term. And this is exactly how one of our clients is, and by the way, I saw someone in the chat saying volume and outreach, right? So I want to talk about volume as well. So let me go back here. Volume negates luck. That's true. But volume without feedback and volume without strategy is just shit. Like, shit multiplied by shit is shit squared, right? And so I tell you this because early on, I remember myself being so ambitious and, like, having so much energy to do so much, right? And one of the things was, like, I can do so much, but if I'm not doing the right thing, it just won't work, right? And so yes, volume is good, but volume is good, but also having the strategy behind it to back that volume, right? Just as important. So I was going to say, that's one of our clients who, his name is Anthony. In 2025, he wanted to start an AI agency. Okay. And instead of being distracted by the millions of AI tools out there, we took Anthony from a newbie to client ready, right? So we mapped out his offer. We chose the niche. We mastered his outreach. We turned him into a sales call assassin. And then we obviously got him into a delivery expert, because delivery is also just as important as anything else. And just in 90 days, he booked over 89 sales calls, closed 9 clients, and and had $35,000 in deals for his agency, right? The crazy part, guys, the crazy part is that he hadn't done 5. So he was working a job. He had a newborn before he worked with us. And then he had 0 AI automation knowledge and no tangible business knowledge, right? So all this thing of, I'm too busy, all this thing of family and so on, which makes sense. And all this thing about not having any knowledge, he overcame all of those and was still able to book 89 sales calls, 9 clients, and $35,000 in deals for his agency. And I can tell you that, I mean, I don't know if Anthony's here. I'm pretty sure he isn't, but he's not special. Like he's not special. Like he's an action taker. That's what differentiates him from other people. Like he just followed the plan that we made, everything step by step, and he got to the outcome, right? And he had a 9 to 5. He had a newborn. I mean, I'm so proud of him. It's awesome. I still remember the call we had. He had a family. Like he just told me he had a newborn. He was a bit like uncertain as to whether he should start. He did it. He took that leap of faith, and then look at him now. Like I'm super happy for him. And that's exactly how also one of our other clients, so one of our students, Zishan, 6 months later of starting his agency, he closed $124,000 in deals and recently closed a $50,000 deal for his agency, all because he followed this exact framework, picking the one opportunity, being consistent or being clear about the outcome that you provided in your offer, but also being consistent and having a good strategy behind your outreach, right? And doing that consistently. And he got to 6 figures within 6 months of starting his agency. And I'm sure a lot of you guys know Zishan because he is one of our, I could say like one of our premium members in our community. He's very active and he was crushing it. He's fucking crushing it. He was there since the start, right? I knew him since like, we worked together since the start. And that's awesome. Now let me tell you my story, right? Why should you listen to me? So less than 2 years ago, I was stuck in tutorial hell. I was watching video after video, playing around with every single tool out there and didn't close a single client, not one client, right? And I felt like I was doing the right thing and working hard, but I wasn't getting anywhere. That's the thing. I was watching all these videos, learning all these tools, trying all these different platforms, but I wasn't getting anywhere. It was not going anywhere, right? And the biggest thing is something that Warren Buffett says, which is it doesn't matter how hard you row, but it matters what boat you're in. And putting AI aside as an opportunity, because AI is the biggest opportunity hands down, it doesn't matter how much volume I put in. It doesn't matter how much outreach I did. If I'm doing the wrong thing, if I'm not rowing in the right boat, then my effort is going to be disregarded. It's not going to count because I'm doing it on the wrong thing, right? And that's why over 8 months ago, we only worked with clients in our agency paying us 5 figures minimum, right? With 85% margins. So we used to charge about 10K for the systems that we built for clients. And so we kept, obviously me, about 8.5, right? 85% margins, which are very good margins to have as an agency specifically. But obviously the transition didn't happen overnight. I was studying to be an investment banker. That's my beautiful palace where I used to work with my bed in the background. And I was obviously doing investment banking and I was working obviously the job itself. And obviously the success didn't come from me being better at using AI. And it definitely did not come from me trying 20 different ways of getting clients. It came from me making an actual plan behind the agency, like an actual structured plan. So what is the number one most important thing behind getting your first AI client in 30 days? It's not just having a good foundation on AI automation. It's not. It's strategically being able to focus on one opportunity to work with one type of person to solve one specific kind of problem in one specific kind of way. Now, knowing you need to pick one opportunity is not the same as knowing which one is right for you. Because even if you have a clear offer, it's not the same as knowing how to build one. And so in the chat right now, I want to hear for you guys, right? How many months have you been at this? How many months have you started like kind of getting into the AI space? 6 months, 8 months, 10 months, almost 1 month, 2 months, 11 plus 10 training. Jeez. First week, congrats. Welcome to the team. 1 year, 6 months, 10 plus. Okay. There we go. Right. So anything longer than a month is a reasonable amount of time, right? Especially if you're looking to make money with this. Brother, it's awesome that you guys have been at this for so long. Almost 2 years, you can't move past. There you go. Because most people get the idea of what I'm actually talking about, but very few actually know how to actually execute it, right? You must also know with this, knowing which opportunity is actually right for you. When I talk about AI opportunity, which one should you do, right? It depends on the person, it depends on the background, it depends on your skill set, it depends on you, right? Building an offer businesses would actually pay for. That's something you also have to know. Knowing exactly who to target and what to say to get them on a call, as well as having a sales process that actually converts leads into clients, and also a delivery system that makes clients stay, refer, and pay more. And lastly, having a system that keeps bringing clients in without you starting from zero every single month, because that's fundamentally where you want to get to with the agency itself. Because once you start consistently taking the right imperfect action on all those 6 things, and I say imperfect, not perfect, imperfect action, right? The most important thing is you not perfecting the thing, but is you getting good enough and just taking that first step, that leap of faith to say, hey, let's do this, right? Clear AI vertical, no-brainer offer, right avatar, the right lead acquisition method to get clients, the right sales process to convert those clients to paying clients, or to convert those leads to paying clients, and a full delivery process to get the client results, to get those testimonials, but also to retain the client longer. That's when you really start seeing success with your AI agency. And that's how me and hundreds of other students have been able to get the first AI client starting from zero in a way that's actually scalable and that provides you with the real freedom by being able to work for yourself. And if you actually implement the framework that we went through today, you can also get your first client and finally start your AI agency too. Now, if what I showed you today was valuable for you and you said until the end, that tells me that you're truly committed to starting your own agency. And it's crazy to me how we have more people now than we had at the start, right? And so like that tells me that you guys are actually committed to making this work and to getting things going. And it also tells me that you're here for a reason. You're an action taker who really wants to change your life by being able to start their own AI business. To have the time freedom, to have the financial freedom, unlimited earning potential, not being capped by your job, doing more, being in control of your life, being in control of what you're doing day to day, and also being in control of who you work with, how much you make, where you live, right? And being part of something future-proof. So in the chat right now, could you guys tell me what is it that you guys are looking to achieve by starting an agency? What is a thing for you guys? And by the way, only I can see this, so it's fine. Like who are you guys doing this for? There you go. Freedom, future-proof, myself, success, my family, time freedom, fun, right? Financial security, my agency, someone said job security, right? Which is huge, right? Being part of something future-proof. And the thing is, AI is a thing that's making other things not future-proof. So where are the best place to be, right? Successful growing agency. That's exactly what I'm talking about. Exactly. It's that freedom, it's that time freedom that I've been lucky to have because I've been going through the whole process that I walk you through. That's why I want to be able to help you guys to hit your goals. So if you're the kind of person who's thinking, I don't want to spend the next 6 to 12 months making mistakes and second guessing myself, then I've opened up one-to-one agency roadmap sessions just for people on this workshop. But before you do anything, this is part of my case study program. So my case study program is a program that I'm doing where I'm documenting the journey of a select group of individuals, so we're very selective, who want to go from A to Z. Okay, start their agency, get their first client. And I want to document the whole process. Does that mean that you're going to be on camera? Maybe, right? But I want to document your journey because if I help you to hit your goals, then I can tell the world that I helped you and I help more and more people. And that's how you build a huge brand, right? By helping more people. And so this is the case study program. Now, very important that this is a free 45-minute call with me personally one-to-one where we do 3 different things. Okay, the first thing that we do is we design a 30-day first client roadmap tailored to you so you know exactly what to do after today. You have the next steps. We map out your starting point. So your skills, your time, your income goal, because I understand that a lot of these things are very personalized to you. They're very custom to you. How do you know what opportunity is for you? How do you know what offer is for you? And lastly, we identify the fastest path forward and whether working together makes sense. Now, before I send over the link and do anything, I want to be clear on who this is for because it's very, very important. This is for case studies, right? So like, I want you guys to get results. But for you to get results, you need to be someone who wants to start an AI agency. You need to have maybe had a 9 to 5 and you want to like transition, not full, like obviously, for example, Anthony, he didn't quit his job and went for the agency. He did it alongside his agency or alongside his job, sorry. And then he has a choice. He has the ability to leave, right? So you have to have or had 9 to 5 and run your own thing. And you can put 1 to 2 focused hours per day for the next 30 to 90 days, right? This is not for you if you're not willing to put 1 to 2 focus hours a day for the next 30 to 90 days. This is not the next get rich quick scheme that you hear online. Like this is work. Like you have to put in the work or else you don't see the results. That's simple as it is, right? Then you hate the idea of talking to real business owners and you will not implement anything after today. So if the second thing is you, just don't book the call, don't do anything, okay? So I'm going to give you guys a link to book your roadmap call with me through the link in the chat. I believe that I can do it. And by the way, if you guys apply on this call, you get one extra free month for free for my for the actual case study program, and something that I've never done. So you get one extra month for free. The program is 3 months. You get 4 months as an extra itself. Let me just send you guys the link. So you guys should see it here. Let me know in the chat if you guys can see it. So I don't know if you guys got it. Yes. Okay. So there's the link itself to book the roadmap session. Again, very, very important. Who does this for? Who is this not for? So if you were the person who takes action, if you understand everything I walk you through here, then apply. If not, then don't, because we're very, very selective, especially because you're going to be working with me one-to-one. There's nobody else. There's literally nobody else. Like I have teams, I have people on my side, but like I will work with you. That's it. And you also apply on this call and you get 1 extra month for free, which you've never done before. All right, can you guys see it? I don't know if you guys, can you see it? Yes, put yes in the chat. Does the link work? Most important, does the link work? Most important, because I had problems with the link. Yes, it works. Cool. So it will ask you a few questions about you, like your goals, your problems, what held you back. The reason that is because before we hop on a call, I want to understand more about you and kind of what you've done. Okay, like what you've done with in the past, what's held you back. So we can make the most out of our time. Okay. Now that you have the link, copy the link. I'm pretty sure it's in the chat. There's also a special gift that I mentioned in the beginning, which is the AI audit framework. And it's unlucky because 10 people left before getting the gift. And I'm going to give you guys the full AI audit framework, which gives you those exact thing that I walked you through. So I'm also going to leave in the chat the audit framework that you guys can use. And by the way, this is generally something that we only give to our one-to-one clients. And it's a complete like document that goes through exactly how to talk to a business, how to find the opportunities that you can actually implement AI in their business, and how to convert them from leads to clients itself. Let me know if you see in the chat. Does it work? Yes. Good. Perfect. Well, I recommend just making a copy of the document. Making a copy of the document, and then you can pretty much go from there. Seeing works fine. Yes. Cool. I'm pretty sure you guys can only see like the 2 links, right? The first link and the second link, just to make sure in case it doesn't get lost. Perfect. Okay. Because we had one of the workshops that I did with like I think 3,000 people. We didn't make the chat, like we make the chat so that everybody could see it. We put the link and it got spammed. It got like left to the top. So there's a resource. There's a link to book the room session where we go through the different things. We go through the client roadmap. So just to remind you, we go through the 30-day first client roadmap tailored to you, so you know exactly what to do after today. We map out your starting point, your skills, your time, your income goal. Map it out step by step together. And then finally, we identify the fastest path forward and whether working together makes sense. Okay. Yes. Now, Q&A time. I know a lot of you guys have been meaning to ask questions. So now's the time to ask questions. Let's see what questions you have. Let's see. Q&A. Let's go through it. So, thanks, Michele. I'm excited. Okay, so in the Q&A box, so stop typing in the chat. Now go to the Q&A box and let me answer the questions there. So someone asked me, is the 3-month challenge the same as joining the inner circle? 3-month challenge. No, so the AIC school community is just a community full of people. We have courses and so on. This is mainly for people who want to take that next step and are more serious about getting to the goal that they have by starting an agency. And so they want to work with me one-to-one. With the agency, it's with the school community, it's not working with me one-to-one. That's the only difference. Someone says, is there any way to get coaching from you? Yes, so the program itself, the link that I put is to sign up for the program to be able to have that down. Someone asked, do we get access to your automated YouTube workspace in VS Code? Yes, you do. My biggest challenge right now in client acquisition, especially trying to platforms. So my biggest challenge right now is client acquisition, especially getting my first client. I've tried platforms like Upwork and Fiverr, but I haven't had success so far. So there's a lot of things that go behind that, right? It's like, what have you done so far? Because I know Upwork is like Loom videos, personalized Loom videos. So we have to look at your offer. What is your offer, right? Who are you targeting? What is your vertical? Are you stretched? Yeah. In what country did you start? I started in the UK, United Kingdom, in Southampton. How much does it cost? What's the price? So the cost itself, like, is something that we go through in the actual video, not video, in the roadmap itself. It's very custom to each person. It depends where you're at. How do we find clients without creating content? Everything that I walked through is not creating content. Like, if I went back, there's no as a beginner, getting your first client or getting your first free clients, you don't need to create content. You don't. Unfortunately, we might not be the best fit to work with you right now. How do you know how much to charge for your services? So in terms of charging, the best model to charge is, and I made a video on this, by the way, on YouTube, is to, one second, let me actually, I see some people say they didn't have the link. The best way to charge is value-based pricing. So you charge based on the value that you create, not the time that it takes you to create the actual automation. So if, per se, the actual system itself makes $8,000 a month in sales for that specific business, you charge a percentage of that. Typically, if it's making the money, 10 to 15%. If it's saving the money, about 20 to 25% of that. Again, guys, for those of you who missed it, I put the link in the chat to the actual case study program. So you can fill out a quick form and then you can book a call with me one-to-one where we go through crafting your whole roadmap step by step to get your first client, your skills, your income, to your, like, all the goals that you have, plus the fastest path forward to get in there together one-to-one. Does the case study program help with the scripts to talk to businesses? Yes. So we give you everything. We tell you exactly, in the program itself, we go through what vertical should we choose for you, are we going to do. Second thing is, how do we craft a high converting offer that actually makes sense? Then we look at what niche do we target? How do we price the offer? How do we get clients? So scripts, what to say, what not to say, follow-up systems, how to convert those clients into paying clients. And I'll give you my exact sales calls, all my sales calls from my agency, so you can see me in action. No better way than seeing me in action. And then finally, the delivery process. So we go through everything step by step together. Let me see here. Why can't we create AI automation for outreach? You can. No one said you can't. You definitely can. But be careful with it, right? Because the reason why people don't succeed with outreach is because they either spam, and they put automation, they spam, and then they hope that someone will reply. And because it's not personalized enough, because AI can't really personalize it to a point where people actually feel like, hey, this is for me. Obviously they can, but you need very good copywriting skills, right? To be able to do that. Why did you stop the weekly Tuesday calls on the calendar? Because I want to do something like this where I can impact more people. I can help you guys more, and it's more of you. The Q&A, the weekly calls were not like aligned with everyone as well. What have been the most profitable AI automations you have sold? So we have, like, hiring systems is something that we've done so far, but it really depends on who you're targeting and so on. So I'm confused if I should focus on LinkedIn outreach or cold email. Not sure which is the best for working, and based on what you said. LinkedIn outreach and cold email. So part of LinkedIn outreach typically involves like making your profile better, and so on. So it depends on who you're targeting. So LinkedIn versus cold email. When you think of the platform itself, don't ask yourself which platform is better. Ask yourself, where does the person that I'm targeting, where do they hang out? Because most times you'll find that maybe Facebook is the best place. Maybe Instagram is the best place, right? So it really depends on who you're targeting. I think B2B, businesses to businesses, like marketing agencies, are great for LinkedIn. Other businesses are great for cold email as well. Do you think it's possible to close clients only through email without any call? Yes, definitely. What expenses are that 85% margin you talked about? So when I say 85% margin, I had to pay my team that was with me. We had about 22 developers at a time, back in the days, as if it was 10 years ago. If I get leads using Hunter.io and similar tools, is it legally safe in Germany to cold email companies or businesses? I mean, I'm not a legal expert, so I can't say yes. But as far as I know, yes, there's no like, it's fine if you cold email companies and not people, then it should be fine. When you talk about focus, do you mean with automation, like for example, onboarding? Yes. So Oscar, when I talk about focus, I mean in the AI space, there's so many different like opportunities, right? Like I mentioned, you want to have focus on one thing. So for you, like since you're in, I think you're in the obviously the course that you're doing, they tell you a lot of different opportunities. They tell you vibe coding, they tell you automations, they tell you voice agents, they tell you all these different things. And so you want to double down on just one. That's what I mean. Best media to reach prospects, LinkedIn mailing, cold calls, Google ads. I definitely will not do ads because it requires capital, like money to start. And a lot of people don't have money to start. Even at the start, I did not have money to start. I didn't have any money. So when you think of the best platform, think of who am I targeting? Where did they hang out? And do that one, right? But no, I wouldn't do ads because ads requires a whole level, like you have to know so much more than doing cold email. Um, Something that I always wonder is the country culture difference. How would you adapt accordingly? So maybe you want to ask another question. So maybe that's not specific enough. So what do you mean by country culture difference? You mean like when you're maybe in South America and you want to target like US, or maybe when you're maybe in India, you want to target US? Um, it really depends. I mean, for example, I'm from Italy and Spain, right? So a lot of people say, don't target Italian businesses, don't target Spanish businesses. Of course you can. Like a buddy of mine, like a lot of my clients one-to-one, they're in Italy, right? They work with Italian markets and they're crushing it, right? So it's not so much about the market itself, but it's more about who you're targeting. Does the business have money? Do you solve a painful problem to actually get enough money back as a result of that? But obviously, Southeast Asia, the Asian side isn't the highest like the highest return just because businesses make less. That makes sense. Um, Let me see. How do you think about freelancer platform? So what do I think about Upwork and Fiverr? I think Fiverr is I wouldn't do Fiverr. I think Fiverr has a in my head it doesn't have a good connotation. Like I think Fiverr is like a very, very, very cheap platform. Upwork, on the other hand, is good. Don't get me wrong, it's good for your first few clients. I personally haven't been on Upwork, so I can't say specifically. I've tried Upwork, it didn't work for me. But again, like I mentioned, it's not that Upwork is about platform, it's because I didn't give it enough time, right? So I don't think they're bad. I think they're all right. I mean, people do it, they work. Want to find out from experience what tends to be the biggest ticket item when you focus. In other words, is it onboarding? What is the key workflow that seems to show up in different places? It depends, man. Like when someone's the question of the day is like, what's the one thing that I can sell that makes the most money, right? There's no one thing that you can sell that makes the most money. We have systems. It's about like how painful is the problem for that specific business and how much money is it making them or saving them. Because I can tell you this, I can say, build a hiring system. But if you build a hiring system for one company, maybe it will save them 10K. If you build it for another company, it will save them maybe 500 bucks. So it's about who you're targeting as well, not so much about the offer. But the offer, of course, is important. But yeah, hiring systems, onboarding, you can pretty much get any specific like process in the business and make that into an offer using the framework that we mentioned before. What is the key to find the right niche? And how does the program of yours work? How frequently can we work together? So what is the key to finding the right niche? So when you think of the right niche, let me give you an example. Let's say we're building a voice agent, like an inbound receptionist for a med spa versus a restaurant. Okay, med spa versus restaurant. One missed call for a med spa is worth 400 bucks. One missed call for a restaurant is worth 30 bucks, maybe 50. And so which niche is better for that offer? Obviously the med spa because we make them more money and we provide more value. So that's one of the things I can tell you. In terms of working with me, so the program itself, so again, guys, if you're listening. I put the link in the chat here to the program itself. I don't know if it actually like let you guys join, but there's a type form, answer a few questions, and you'll be able to work with me one-to-one. We first need to have a call first to see if you might be a good fit. Most people aren't. I can tell you this up front. It depends on who. It depends if you're an action taker. It depends if you actually like are committed to doing this. Yeah. In terms of the investment, we'd look at that on the call. Like it depends on person to person. Really, it's very custom. How much have you built? Have you built out a team to help you manage and implement your solutions, or do you run solo? So, Brianna, we had a team. So early on, very, very early on, when I was booking the 3-6 calls a day, I went from 0 to like having 22 people on the team, right? By the way, they weren't full-time. Like they were just like contractors per se. That wasn't the best thing because I outsourced way too early. But to tell you the thing, like the truth, no agency, like no like service-based agency that you want to scale to 10, 20, 30, 50K a month is done by your own. Obviously, there are people who've done it, but it's very, very unlikely as a beginner. So I had people helping with my automations. For the first offer, do you focus on one kind of business and only market to them? Yes, correct. Do you find that you're dealing with clients increase more than actual work once you get up to 10 clients? So do I find that clients are bugging me more once I get more clients? It really depends on your expectations, but not necessarily. Not necessarily. What you'll find, guys, is this. The clients that pay you more, the agency clients that paid us like 5 figures versus the one that paid us like 1K, they ask so much less, like they ask very like, my English is breaking up. The questions that they ask are a lot less than the questions that the 1K people ask, right? Because they're more committed, they're more serious business owners, but also they know that on the other side, they wouldn't like bog you down like every single day. But no, the more clients you have doesn't necessarily mean that you have more and more people asking you questions. How many businesses have you helped build a digital product business? If so, is it faster than physical product? That's not the space that we like. This is more like service based, not so much digital product. So I can't really answer that specifically. Okay, very good question, guys. Listen to this one. Steve Price, thanks for the question. Very good, because it's going to apply to a lot of people. I'm wondering how saturated the business automation market is now. I see that everyone is getting into it, including all the existing software companies. Are we jumping in too late? Probably the question of the day. Steve Price, thank you very much. Let me type thank you. Thank you, said. So saturation, very good question. It's not saturation, it's the algorithm. Okay, so you guys have probably watched one of my videos. And if you press on Michela's video, then you see someone else's video and someone else's video. And then you start to see like the circle of shit, what I call, that you have all the automation videos, all these AI videos coming into your page, and you think, God, everyone's doing this, right? Like, am I too late? Like, is this too late? Like, did I jump on the train too late? The answer to that is you haven't even started. Like, we haven't even started. That's my answer. Like, we're so early on that saturation shouldn't even be a word that people use. The only reason why you use that, and by the way, I thought the exact same thing a year and a half ago. So imagine that, right? But it's all because my feed was just people who do automation, right? But what you start to see is that only like 0.01% of people are actually doing this. Like it's a very, very small amount. There's so much demand, lack of supply, and this is called the opportunity gap. And that's exactly why we bridge that gap by starting the business. Let me know if that makes sense. And I think this is very important, like being scared of like what's it called? Being afraid of saturation in the market, you know, because I know it's one of the questions that you have. Makes sense. Okay, good. Are small to medium-sized commercial real estate companies with 2 to 10 employees grossing 200 to 500 annual revenue is good niche to target? Offer is lead generation, driving deal flow and operational efficiency. The size company has painful point, but do they have purchasing power to buy solutions? So obviously, I don't know too much about real estate with 3 to 10 employees, grossing 200 to 500. That's very niche, which is, by the way, very good. What I would do is I would talk to them, ask them to hop on a call for completely free, ask them if they would buy something like this. And once you have like 5 to 10 calls of people like that, and they say yes, then you know it's proven. You know that they would buy it. And then pitch them at the end. Are you doing cold calling, cold outreach? Do you need to use LinkedIn or have an agency website? I don't think you need to have a website. Definitely not. But yeah, cold outreach is definitely the way to get clients, hands down, because you have to let people know about your stuff. When you land the first client, how exactly do you get paid by them? So I use Stripe. Use Stripe, make an account. By the way, you don't have to have a company set. Maybe I get sued for this. You don't have to have a company set up to be able to get paid. You can just make an initial Stripe, get payments in. But this is like for your first like few $1,000s. Like it's not a big deal. And then from there, you can pretty much set up the company, do everything that you have to do, right? What if the solutions you create become obsolete with emerging tech? So one of the videos that we're posting in the next week is what types of businesses should you not do? Like don't buy AI. One of the things is like if the problem that you solve is solved by a free tool, don't do it. Like it's as easy as that. But most services that are out there, like they're not going to get solved by specific tools specifically. It depends what you do, right? If you're trying to build like a full, like I can tell you, most times we use tools that already solve the problem to solve the problem for the customer. Because a lot of times business owners don't have the time of day to figure that stuff out themselves, which is why they call you. What are the greatest niches? The greatest niches is the ones that have like are very digital. So they have a digital presence, they're online, and they make money. What type of automations gives my agency the best ROI? So we were very niched. We were working with like marketing agencies and making them like delivery automation. So helping them with onboarding and delivering clients. And that gave a pretty good ROI for them. Hail Michele, for the one-to-one, is it possible to have two people together, a couple who want to try launch their AI agency? One is a 9-to-5 job and the other one is a content creator based in France. Yes, Iman, totally fine. We have people doing in twos all the time. So all good. How do you deploy, deliver? Do you host everything yourself in-house? Do you maintain on a retainer or do you hand over fully? Klaus, there's a video on this in my channel. I'm going to answer this, but I broke it because I broke this down like entirely. We scripted everything, so it was all good. We typically make the client make their own N10 account or whatever account. We make everything in their name. We charge them a retainer to maintain the system. Would this program work for someone without an AI knowledge or an niche? Yes. So we most times, people that we work with one-to-one, especially for the case study program, they don't have any knowledge on AI or at all, on any niche or anything, like zero. They just want to like have more freedom or like start their own business, right? And we go through everything step by step. What kind of outreach did you do at the beginning to book a first call with a client? LinkedIn outreach. LinkedIn outreach. That's what I did at the start. Typically, what is the most successful way of finding people for outreach? We see, so cold calling is one, Loom outreach is one, sending personalized Loom videos to people, cold email, right? So there's 3 different methods, but it's all about what you do in that specific thing, Phil, if that makes sense. Like it's about what you put in the Loom video. It's about what you say in the message. But LinkedIn, cold email, it's pretty much like and cold calling is like very much the best thing. Like if you're very against like on the phone, then I would do like messaging on LinkedIn. But if you're good on the, like if you're fine going on the phone, I think cold calling is probably the fastest just because you get to talk to the person directly. Are you mostly focused on building N10 automations? What tools or skills will we need to have? So I can tell you that like knowing how to use N10 and the tools and skills, like that's just the first 2 weeks. That's like 5% of building the whole business. It's everything that comes after that. You mentioned, so hey, Michele, you mentioned we are discussing the first paying client, but it's also good to have some unpaid work, testimonials from people that you know. So is it a prerequisite to have those free before we start the project towards 30 days paying client? Is it a prerequisite to have free projects before we start working towards 30 days paying client? It's not a prerequisite. The only reason why you do it is because you want to have maybe a bit of more experience. You want to make some mistakes along the way with free clients so that when you go to the paid client, you know the whole process step by step. And by the way, this is something that we cover in the case study program. We go through the delivery process, what that looks like, all the mistakes that you would make. I tell you exactly what not to do, what to do, and have a whole thing mapped out. That solves it. How do you identify outreach business for cold call email campaign that are viable businesses and contact details are bona fide? Like verified, you mean? I use Clay, Hunter.io. There's a lot of different people. There's a lot of different like databases. Apollo is good. What do you mean by onboarding automation? Can you give us any examples? Yes. So every single business, once a client pays, they now have to onboard their clients. So the onboarding is like making documents. The onboarding is adding them to the CRM. The onboarding is sending automated email. The onboarding is like making a Slack channel, which is a place where everyone, like a huddle, like a WhatsApp group chat, right? These things are very manual and it requires different people for like different inputs. And so when you build the automation, you save them that time of doing it themselves. Um, I would like to learn automations before I start an agency. What is the best way to do that? I would like to learn automations first before I start an agency. What is the best way to do that? There's a YouTuber called Michele. I think he's good, decent. What do you guys think in the chat? Is Michele good? Do you agree? Do you not? Do you disagree? Do you agree? He's decent. He's decent. Yes. 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 It's awesome. Um, good fast speaking. I get it a lot that I speak fast. Just get my point across. So much conviction, so much passion, you know. Okay, so what about the Canadian market? Canadian market's fine. What do I think of the construction sector? SMEs as a niche since there are many in my regions here. I think construction sector is good. After the audit, how do you identify the best solution or tool for them to use if you have no experience? So typically when it comes to typically when it comes to like being fairly new, obviously you want to have some like knowledge on AI. Like you want to know what N10 is, what cloud code is, but you just want to like know what they are or like be good enough, maybe at building one or two things. And then you can start going out there straight away. How do you get in touch with the decision maker at the company? So LinkedIn, you can pretty much get in touch with the decision maker. Um, okay, I see someone. What is the program that you're talking about? So for those of you who didn't hear before, um, we're doing a case study program. Okay, so just to iterate, the case study program is for people like I want to document X. We have a very small group of people because obviously it's one-to-one with me. I only have so many hours in a day, so I can only take so many people. We want to do a whole case study program where we document your journey from like starting the agency to getting to the goal that we have, right? And so that means recording every call, doing everything together is going to be fucking awesome. I'm super excited. Doing it together step by step, right? And it's the first step is actually booking a call with me to see even if you are a good fit. So on the call itself, we design a 30-day first client roadmap tailored to you, so you know exactly what to do after today. We map out your starting point, so your skills, your time, your income goal, because we have to work backwards from your income goal. If you want to make 10K a month, now it's like, okay, what do we have to do to get to 10K a month per se? And lastly, we identify the fastest path forward and whether working together makes sense. And so we do in the calls. How much do you need to know about the business systems of your clients? Enough to help them. That's the answer. Enough to help them. So you have to know exactly what problems they have for us to even go out there and help them. See here. One sec, guys. Someone said, wow, I have a question. Okay. What do I think of SaaS? So what do I think of SaaS? So I think SaaS is a model. So for those of you who don't know what SaaS is software as a service. Okay, it's like Instagram is a SaaS, LinkedIn is a SaaS. SaaS specifically takes a lot of capital to get started. Now, with these tools, obviously came out with Cloud Code, with anti-gravity, the capital, like how much you have to spend goes down. But with SaaS, you need a very, 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 very good idea, or else like it won't do it. And by the way, building on Cloud Code, like a SaaS on Cloud Code or anti-gravity, and deploying it so people can actually use it and start getting paid members, completely different things. So, yeah. How do you deliver the automation to the business owner? After the delivery of the automation, do you leave the client all the automation built to him, monthly replay? So yeah, so it depends, right? If you're building a voice agent, for example, you ideally want to self-host your own anytime account, build it in your own account, and then you charge them a retainer every single month to maintain the voice agent. If you're building a very small like onboarding automation, you do it in their account. I wouldn't charge them a retainer because it's so like it's such a small project that it wouldn't matter. And what I do for that client, where I don't charge a retainer, is that I do reoccurring revenue. So when I say reoccurring revenue, I mean like you solve the next problem and the next problem and the next problem. And so the LTV, which means the lifetime value of the customer, is higher. So how much the customer is worth to you increases because you solve more of their problems. So you make more money by giving them more value. How long did it take you for you to win the first 3 to 5 customers? Longer than I wanted. If I knew everything I know now, I would have a few weeks. But the first 3 to 5 customers, from when I actually implemented this framework, it took me like three weeks per se. Where do I see the world of automation in 2 to 4 years' time? And would you think the way this field works would alter drastically? Good question. So where do I see the future of automation or AI? I think obviously, I mean, you guys have seen Cloud Code and all these things coming out. They're pretty much insane. Like they're pretty crazy to think that all of this is coming out at this time. I think that the ability to build, the actual skill of building, the necessity will go down. The skill that someone needs to have is the ability to identify opportunities in a business and being able to know how to solve them. Because you can always hire people to do the technical stuff, but not everybody can go out there and get clients. Consult, right? Be like a partner. All right, guys. Before we go, again, if you guys, just a last chance, because I know you guys, by the way, like the case study program, the bonus, all that stuff is only for people booking on this call. So if you want to book in, you can use this link in the chat that I put here. We don't do the bonus after like we end this call, just because I want you guys to, it's not fair on you guys that you've been here the whole time listening to me. But yeah, you guys can book, apply, save the link. Any last questions in the chat here? You see a lot of questions. Is a 45-minute one-to-one call free? Yes, it's free. All right. With that said, guys, as always, thank you very much. Put thank you in the chat. Thank you. What did you think? Was it good? Awesome? Amazing? Bad? Horrible? No, it's awesome to see you guys. Well, I'm not really seeing you, am I? But don't build, consult. There you go. Wonderful insights. I like that. All right, guys. Awesome. With that said, we have AIC in school community where we have a lot of courses and so on, and very, 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 very exciting things to come next week and the week after. So super excited to show you guys. And with that said, I really hope you guys found value from this session, and I'll see you in the next one.